Rolling. I'm here with Mariah. Would you like to say your full name? Because I don't pronounce your last name right.
It's Richard.
Richard. Mariah Richard. And she is a first-year student at the University of the Arts. What state is that in?
Well, it's in Pennsylvania, but it's Philadelphia.
In Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
And don't you have a friend that goes to that school as
I
well?
do. Her name's Felicia Anderton. She goes there as well. She's a junior in the musical theater department.
Cool. Speak up a little bit because there is some background noise.
Okay, speak up.
And my voice is going to be like way louder than yours,
Okay.
unless, you know,
Yeah.
if I can bring it closer too. Okay, wonderful. So how long have you been an artist and what kind of art do you do?
I would say I've been an artist since, I've always been artistic since I was young. I found myself interested in musical theater at a pretty young age. I was always attracted to musicals. My parents took me to them when I was young in New York, and they always just lit me up inside. It was something about them. And I study musical theater at my school, and I used to be a jazz music major and then transferred because I love to act and dance. So the jazz program was just about singing and music, and that wasn't as fulfilling as the degree that I'm going for right now.
What degree is that?
I'm going for my BFA, Bachelor's of Fine Arts in Musical Theater. It's a 4-year program, yeah.
Fantastic. So who would you say were your major musical influences?
My major music influences, I would say, are Adele and Amy Winehouse. Through my vocal lessons when I was younger, I'd find myself copying whatever anyone was doing. Whenever I would learn a new song, I would go listen to the original, and I would find myself doing the exact things, like the same choices, the same vocal patterns as them. And Amy Winehouse and Adele, even though I was partially copying them through their music and their voice and lyrically as well, it was an outlet for me, and I was able to find myself in my own voice as an artist, and that really helped me develop like my passion and what I found beautiful in music. And their music has been a pivotal experience for me, because I was able to start writing my own music, and
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I was able to write my own music, and I was just able to figure out what I wanted to write about. So.
Beautiful. And what other styles are you studying and hope to get out of going to art school?
Well, I am studying musical theater, which encompasses acting, singing, and dance. And in my program, it's a heavily acting-based school. So we have all 4 years of our studio class, which is our longest 3-hour class. So we're really, working on character development. The first year starts with a lot of breaking down the artist and figuring out who you are in order to play other roles. And I'm also taking ballet, jazz, and tap. And I have private vocal lessons every week, as well as a performance class that focuses on the acting within songs, as well as music theory. So working on, music theory. And right now, my acting final was to take poetry and to turn it into a perspective, take it to a character point of view. And so developing my own performance with many different qualities, having multimedia, music involved, visual arts, sculpture even, and it was really liberating, because I was able to do things that I never thought I was capable of, and to be able to develop an entire piece of art, not just, creating a character is art, and that takes so much work in itself. But being able to express myself through other ways that I've never done. So I find myself being really attracted to directing. I love to direct, casting, directing, and being able to create an image of the faces of the show. I think that has a lot to do with it and how you perceive something, a piece of art, for musical theater and acting wise. So I'd love to be able to do something like that. I also, this last semester, we had an assignment to write a show based off of an event in the news. And that was really liberating, taking a tragedy or taking something that really happened in our world and creating a piece of art through that. it felt like you had the duty of creating this story and telling this story, and you always feel like that through, you know, creating a character. You feel like this is someone's life, and you have to portray it in an honest and truthful way. And so creating my own, you know, creating a show with other students as well. We all wrote it and produced it, and, you know, directed and then performed, and that was a really fulfilling experience. And I never thought that I wanted to do something like that, but that's what my school's all about. It's all about branching out, knowing that you can't just be one thing, that you have to be able to do many things, and to be logical. You know, it's realistic. It's not, you're not just going to be on Broadway. It's not just going to happen. I mean, that's what I want. That'd be amazing, but I'm going to have to be able to try other things. So, and that's fine with me. I want to be an artist, not just a one-trick pony. So.
Well, one of your dreams might be to be on Broadway someday.
Yes, one of my dreams is to be on Broadway. That's been a dream since I was a child. I've always wanted to be on the stage, and Broadway, you know, it's everywhere. There's performance in Chicago. There's specifically the Broadway district in New York City, and that's like the be-all, end-all of it. But there's incredible art. Incredible musical theater in London, all over Europe, and all over the United States, Chicago, LA. It happens everywhere. So.
What would you say were your 3 favorite Broadway plays?
Ooh, that's tough because there's so many. But I automatically know it's Spring Awakening. That's my first choice. It's a contemporary rock musical about. It was originally written in the 1800s about kids who weren't allowed to know about their bodies and the process of having a child and creating a child, and, you know, not understanding life and being able to figure it out. It has a lot to do with like teenage angst.
No sex education.
No sex education then. You know, she says, how do you make a baby, mama? And she says, it's brought here by a stork. And you're just like, what? You know, and that's it's a really cool show because it they're dressed in like traditional 1800 period clothing, but they have like handheld mics, and they have it's like a totally kind of rock feel, and you know, playing with like acoustic instruments, things that you don't normally hear, like acoustic guitars and bongos and stuff in a Broadway show. So that was an incredible show, and I still love it to this day. My next favorite show, I would say, it's called Next to Normal. It's another contemporary show, and it just highlights like really realistic problems. The mother has a pill addiction. The father is in denial about pretty much everything. One of the kids in the show is a pothead, and so it just has like a lot of real qualities about, you know, a lot of people perceive musical theater as like a fake, you know, this fake kind of like performance showy type, but it's not. I think it's the best of both worlds because it exaggerates life, but can take realistic elements and it makes it enchanting. That's why it's so mesmerizing, and I love it. So that's one of my other favorite shows. And my third favorite show would probably be, let's see, I would say Chorus Line. That's a classic. It's about people in auditions trying to get on Broadway and their story, and, you know, who they are on stage, and like representing themselves as people. And it's a big dance show, so I could never be in that. It's heavily dance based, but that's a classic.
But you are training in dance.
I am training. I'm trying to get better. I didn't come in very strong, but I'm hopefully going to leave much better than I am. Within a semester, I already feel like I've grown a lot as a dancer, and that's something I was specifically looking for.
So never say never, you know, where like in 5 years you could be an incredible dancer.
I could. I have potential. So we'll see.
Well, since you indicated that there are so many other shows that had a big influence that you like, feel free to just give a quick list of additional influences.
Additional musicals that influenced me: Dogfight, Chess, Company, The Producers, Drowsy Chaperone. Once is a new musical right now. Memphis. A lot of the newer musicals. American Idiot, which was based off of Green Day's music. So that's an incredible musical as well. Yeah, I love a lot of contemporary musicals.
No regrets, huh?
You have to know the classics first, obviously. But
What do you think of Into the Woods?
Oh, I love Into the Woods. Of course. Why didn't I think of Sondheim? Yeah, he's amazing. That's an incredible. Do you like that musical?
Yeah, I only saw it for the
do?
first time a couple years ago, and
Netflix?
I adored it.
Or did you see it live?
A pagan coven screened it for me one night, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was amazing, and I loved it.
You should check it out on Netflix. They have the original cast, Broadway winning cast. Joanna Gleason. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, I want to see it live
yeah,
someday.
Me too. Yeah.
Cool. What other influences should we talk about besides Broadway?
I don't know. I think like the people in my life have influenced me a lot. Like,
Yes, please talk about your major influences that are people.
Coming from Salt Lake has helped me a lot as an artist because I find myself being a lot more. I mean, also coming into this program, I'm not. You know, a lot of people in my program are 18 in my year because they just came out of school. And personally, I have no idea what I would have done going into college. I mean, it's amazing that they all chose to, you know, they knew they wanted to do this. I knew I wanted to do it as well, but I definitely wanted to travel and explore a little bit before I just went right into school. But I commend people who did do that because they will be graduating even younger and, you know, they'll have even a fresher look on life. But I think it's also helped me in a lot of ways to be a bit older, just a few years, and to be able to, you know, have traveled and been able to be on my own for a little bit. Greenhouse, where we are right now, is one of my favorite places in the world, and there's nowhere else like it. And the humility here, and it helps you remember your humanity. I mean, we have a sign on the door that says you have the right to be yourself, and that's something that I saw every single day walking in here.
Right, that ACLU sign,
Yeah.
American Civil Liberties Union.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of that organization.
Yeah. So being able to just, you know, constantly be reminded that everyone is different, to accept people, and to know that you have no idea where all these people are coming from, you know, on all different walks of life, from all different places.
You laugh. Me and my friend laughed.
You know, in a fast-paced city, you can, you know, tend to just skim over those things because you're trying to get to where you are, do what you have to do, you know, make money. And so coming here and having like a lot, the opposite really, you know, having a place that's very family-oriented, everything's close by, not everything, I mean, but it's a small-knit community, and I think having a place to call home has made me feel a lot more stable in a place that isn't.
A lot of encouragement and growth goes on here.
Yeah, you feel a lot of support, you feel a lot of grounding. I'm extremely thankful for coming here, you know. And even though I feel like I might have been repressed as an artist here, I feel so liberated going somewhere now that allows you to do whatever you want, you know. So it's like I've seen my limits, but now I have them, and that's really awesome too.
Okay, so Greenhouse people. Any other artistic influences around Salt Lake?
Oh, Grey Fiction was a band that, I mean, is a band that comes through here.
Love Grey Fiction.
Love Grey Fiction. They're amazing. What else do I like? I mean, I love all the poets. I'm a huge fan of poetry in Salt Lake.
The singer of Grey Fiction is one of the kindest, gentlest souls I've ever met.
He is Paul.
Paul truly is, you know, I don't know. I mean, this is going to sound like way out there, but like he just strikes me as the closest person I've ever met, you know, to like a Buddha type.
Yeah.
And I'm not even joking about that.
Yeah, it's
But
true.
it's funny because he came up in my interview with Your Meteor too.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And like we said the same thing, like Paul.
Yeah.
And
They're
the other brothers.
Yeah. Paul, Matt, and what's his name? Mark.
Yeah, they're in Portland now.
Yeah, they're beautiful souls. So yeah, them, and I mean, I'm really close to all of the poets here in Salt Lake. The Poetry Slam team, Brian Franson, RJ Walker, Ben Barker.
Walker, what about Seth Walker?
Oh, Seth Walker, yeah, he's a touring poet. He comes through Salt Lake. He's amazing too. He helped me develop a lot as an artist.
Was
as
he an
well.
influence? Okay,
Of course
yeah.
he was, yeah. I was able to travel with him a bit back east and perform with him, and he believes in, like, you know, a lot. I mean, he has very strong beliefs, and seeing someone with such conviction is beautiful.
Didn't you date him for a while?
I did date Seth Walker.
I thought so.
I did. He's great. He was a great boyfriend. He was fun. I mean, he's very artistic. I love dating artists. I love artists. They helped me fulfill a different side of myself. And he was a poet, so, you know, he expressed himself through words. I expressed myself through other people's words, but creating my own character within that. So we had a lot to learn from each other. But I mean, being around the poets here, I have an archive of everlasting, literature that I could use at any time, which came in handy. My first project, or my final project in my acting class was with a poem, and so I had so many endless options, which was cool. And feeling like I have a community, that's cool. I love it.
What other men have been an influence on your life?
My dad has influenced me. Yeah, my dad and I have had a rough relationship, but he's taught me to be a lot stronger, and I think, I don't know, I have learned through failing relationships with men how to make better ones, honestly. I feel like that's...
Each one has so much to teach in terms of relationships.
Yeah, everyone does.
Each one's different.
Yeah, and I think it helps as an artist because you have a lot to work with from bad times and good times. As an actor, you want to experience the good and the bad so you can, empathize with other things that you've never felt before. So I think experiencing good and bad has helped me as an artist because I'm able to feel things for other characters that, I haven't necessarily felt, but I can relate to in some way. So, no character is ever too far from yourself.
If you could date any person, alive or dead, who would you go on a date with?
I would date Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse?
Yeah! I would love to go on a date with Amy Winehouse. She's so fun, she's funny, and her death was a tragedy, but she had a beautiful mindset on the world. And I know she went through a shit ton of shit. But she was brave, and, she died trying to be clean and trying to make her life better. And I would love to go on a date with Amy Winehouse. I think she's gorgeous too. So, her or Janis Joplin. I think that'd be awesome. Janis Joplin or a famous man I'd like to date. Probably like a gorgeous actor or something.
Who's like?
Really fun. Oh, I don't know. I love Jake Gyllenhaal. He's really cute. Yeah.
And your number one date if they have to be alive?
Oh, number one date.
Male or female?
Male or female.
Or transgendered, whatever.
Whatever.
Genderqueer.
Human. Oh, geez, that's hard. Out of every single human, that's hard. Okay, let's just narrow it down. Jimi Hendrix. He's a cool brother.
But wait, is he still living?
Oh no, he's not living. I wish. Sorry, living. I would love to go on a date with Alan Stone. Yeah, he's really cute. Or Sam Sparrow. He's a soulful British artist, but he's so gay. But I would date him anyway. I feel like just like me for a day. But I love him. Our music's
Where do you see? Do you graduate in what, 2 or 3 years?
I graduate in 3.5 years.
3.5 years from now.
Yeah.
Where do you see after yourself, like right after you graduate, and 5 to 10 years into the future?
Right after I graduate. I hopefully. There's so many amazing theaters, like equity theaters, unique avant-garde theaters that I'm already looking into as a freshman, and would love to be able to work with. And so hopefully when I graduate, I will have enough connections to be able to just start working in Philadelphia as an actor, to be able to be doing some shows. There's this theater company called New Paradise Laboratories in Philadelphia, and all of their stuff is just incredible and unique and really movement-based and ensemble-based. And they're more devised theater pieces, so lots of multimedia, different things. So I'd love to see myself as a theater member of their casting. I would love to be a part of their company. A company member is what I was looking for. And 5 to 10 years after. Hopefully I've made the big move to New York City. That's the goal. I don't know if I see myself having a family or a husband quite at that point, but being able to make art. That's the goal. I just want to be making art.
What about when you're an old lady?
I'm an old lady. when I'm an old lady, I'd like to have a husband who I grow old with, and maybe, you know, I don't know right now if I want kids, but if I do, I want a daughter, and I hope she sings. I hope she does art as well. So, you know, have a child that I can connect with through art, and even if they don't do art, that's totally fine. I love them anyway. So, just, you know, be able to pass along my knowledge, maybe teach by that point. You know, or still just be active.
What if your daughter turned out to be an accountant?
I love her anyway. I'm horrible with money, so she helped me out. I have no control over money. No, I have no money right now.
I'm the same way. I'm totally disorganized in that way.
I'm like, clothes. It's the 20-year-old me.
Beautiful. Can you think of any other topics we should bring up before we wrap it up?
I don't know. I love Greenhouse. I love Daniel.
Oh, thank you.
Of course. Thank you for interviewing.
I really enjoy that you would spend the time with me and allow me to do this interview with you. Oh, wait. Didn't you try out for American Idol?
I did try out for American Idol.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, I tried out. I've tried out 3 times. And the first time I was 14. I wasn't even old enough to actually be on. No, I was 15. Not even old enough to be auditioning. But I thought maybe by the time, if I got on, that I'd be able to. But I got cut right in the first round, and that was fine. I was so nervous. And then the second round, the second time I auditioned was in Houston, and I made it to the executive producers, which was about 4 auditions in. So that was really cool, making it really far with cameras in your face, getting kind of a taste of it, which was awesome. I loved it. And then the last time I auditioned was here in Salt Lake City last summer, and I didn't make it past the first round either. But they made me sing 4 songs. 4! I was like, you can't tell if you like me by 1 or 2. I'm not doing my job.
What were the songs that you sang?
I sang Melt My Heart to Stone by Adele, Tears Dry on My Own Baby Winehouse, Dazed and Confused by Led Zeppelin, and I sang Feeling Good by Michael Bublé, or I'm not sure who the original of that song is, but I sang the Jennifer Hudson version.
So they must have been thinking about it.
Yeah, I think they were.
If they made you sing, I mean, because that's a lot of their time.
Yeah, and they called someone over and they enlisted. I don't know what it was. Maybe I didn't look. I don't really care.
Whatever. They have, you know,
Yeah,
to each their own, and everyone's going to judge in one way or another, and it doesn't matter. Not everyone's going to like your art, and not everyone is going to like you, but some people are.
Yeah.
I mean, and obviously some people already do.
Thank you.
So I think that no matter what happens, you're going to have definitely a growing fan base. I'm one. I've known you for like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 years at least now. 4 maybe, I'm not sure. I think you were like 16, maybe 17 when I met you for the first time.
I've been going to Greenhouse since I was 14.
Yeah.
So,
and you're what, like 20 now, something like that? 20? Yeah, so it's been 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Well, most excellent. Thank you very much for the interview.
Of course.
Any parting thoughts?
Make art. Make art. I don't know. It's always the same. If you're ever upset in life, I think a huge way to heal anything going on within is to express it in a productive way. And art is such a liberating feeling. I mean, creating art, being able to express yourself. It doesn't matter if you just write a poem. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. Sing a song. Get on stage. Let people, hear you. Just it makes you feel more connected to a bigger idea. Because we can feel so alone in this world, but we're not at all. I mean, everyone is going through such similar things at all times. So I think being able to make art is a way to include yourself in a process of life. So, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Bye.